Hi, my name is Chris, and today we're going to be looking at troubleshooting our Wi-Fi bedbox camera. But first and foremost, the most important one is to take the lens cap off the front of the camera. I've made this mistake before, so don't worry if you do forget. You'll just get a black image when you do try to connect to the camera. The second hint and tip that we can give really, and we do try and mention this in our videos, but if you're getting any shortening of distance that you're expecting from your camera, do try and get the Wi-Fi aerial as upright as you can possibly get it. The higher the elevation of the aerial, the better distance you'll get from the camera itself. One of the things that we find customers often do is when they're adding a new device, or if they're offering the credentials of the camera to a friend, they actually go through resetting the entire camera. You don't need to do that. If you wish to add a new device, you can either do that here, so you get your friend to download XMI, and you go into add device, and the manual add, you would just give them the device serial number, the admin, and the password. So if you do set a password on this, that's the bit that you need to give them. The other way you can do it is to get them to scan a QR code. If you click on that, it then allows you to scan the QR code. So if your friend is with you, you can just have them scan your device, and that will add the camera automatically to your phone. So let's just go out of that one. And it's really as simple as that. You don't need to go through a full reset. You're simply adding that device and all its credentials to someone else's phone. The other place you can find the information is we go into the camera, we go to the home button, and we go to the about. And again, here's the QR code, here's the serial number. One of the other common questions we get is around audio. And like we say, there's a couple of ways that you can listen. So if you want to listen to live audio, you would connect here, and you'll be able to hear anything that's happening through the camera live on your phone. The other way, if you want to record audio, or you want the audio to happen onto the microcard, here we go, it's the encoding config, which is here. So we've enabled audio already, and audio on the substream. So if you don't have it enabled on the substream, you won't be able to listen to it when you're in the sort of standard mode or substream mode. Once you've done that, always make sure you save the settings, and that will be available next time you log in. Connection problems. So if you get to this point where you're adding the device, you go to quick config, you're then adding in your username, password, and all the rest of it, and it fails to connect. Sometimes it will suggest that you need location privileges. If it mentions this, that's location privileges, you have to check your privileges. Now, the device requires you to have location switched on. To do that, you go to settings. You go to, in an iPhone this is, on an Android it may be slightly different. On here we click on privacy, and we make sure that we've got location services on. What that allows the camera to do is just know where it is, and for the phone to be able to find it. So a common question that we get is motion detection related. So again, we go into the camera, and if you want motion detection to be enabled, once you go into your alarm config, you just, in order to enable motion detection, you need to make sure it's got both alarm and alarm record enabled in order for motion to work. Okay, and then once you've done that, always remember, click save, otherwise it won't hold that information. Another issue we have when someone's just setting up the camera for the first time is they'll be adding the camera using the manual config, so quick config. As you go through the settings, it will ask you, do you allow permission or do you allow this? Always click OK. So as long as you're using the application and you're adding the device, or you're working with the cameras, you should always say yes to everything. It is okay. What the camera is doing is just allowing, say, the microphone to connect with the camera so that you can listen to it, or enable it to know where the camera is. So if you deny any of those as they pop up, that's a common issue that we face when people are setting up the camera for the very first time. If you watch one of our previous videos, I've got an iPhone 6. It's pretty much up to date in terms of its operating system. But I've always found with my phone, it is a struggle for us to be able to download files from using the application and actually download them into my photos folder. Now, we believe with Android, most of the customers we've got with Android, that doesn't pose an issue. It does seem to work a lot better. And certainly on newer versions of the iPhone, it works very, very well. Just with some of the older versions, like mine, as I say, an iPhone 6, for some reason it doesn't seem to like the partition in the phone, and therefore it won't drag the video from the camera, and it doesn't like to put it into then the sort of photos and videos files. So again, if that's the case, my workaround, my personal one, was to use the software that we use for this camera, which is CMS5. It's available on our website in the help desks and the help site, and you can download that. And once you've added the camera, you get really full functionality and full integration with the camera itself. And in fact, we always advise, if you're ever going to do any editing work or use the camera for anything more than just viewing and sort of showing your kids, if you're going to be editing or making videos from it, highly recommend you get the software so that you can then use the full functionality of the software. That's about it from us in terms of the troubleshooting guide. If you do encounter any issues, of course, we're here to help. Get in touch on one of the numbers below or on the screen here, and one of our team will be in touch. Once again, thanks for listening, and enjoy your camera.